Yazan from 90 Day Fiance is engaged to a woman he has never ever even met. Oh my god. You guys, Yazan from 90 Day Fiance, yes. The Yazan that was, I guess, technically engaged to Brittany, kind of, somewhat, sort of. Well, they ended their relationship, and now Yazan has met a new woman who he is engaged to, and also he has never even freaking met. You guys, this story is unbelievable. How does 90 Day Fiance find these people? So here is basically the deal. I don't know how he met her. Obviously, he met her online. He didn't meet her in person because he's never met her before. But this woman he is dating / engaged to, she is also Jordanian, the same, culture, whatever. And they somehow met through social media, I believe. And they started talking. They have FaceTimed, I will say. So it hasn't been just text or anything. They have FaceTimed and whatnot too. And it's like they just completely hit it off. One thing led to another. They were FaceTiming, they were chatting, they were talking. And then Yazan ended up finding her, father, who might possibly, he might live in Jordan. Now, that is a long shot. Yazan, he was on 90 Day Bears All. He really didn't clarify yes or no. He did say, though, that he asked her father for the blessing if he could have her hand in marriage, and the father gave the blessing and said, sure. And Yazan did say that he's either FaceTiming with this woman or he's hanging out with her family. So that made me think, well, is her family, including her dad, in Jordan? Maybe it's her extended family, because Yazan also said that she's only been to Jordan one time and she lives in the US. So it's like, what is going on? So if she's only been to Jordan one time, her dad probably doesn't live in Jordan. And her family is probably just extended, distant family. She's probably not very close with them, and that is probably that. But yes, Yazan said that he asked for her hand in marriage. The dad said yes, and they are going to be getting married in July. We are in April, so what is it? Let's do this together. Let's count together, y'all. April, May, June, July. 4 months. In 4 months, Yazan supposedly is going to meet this woman and then marry her. So this guy is just hilarious. And yes, we also got to see Adam, the infamous Adam, who is the translator for Brittany and Yazan. I don't know why he's even really there, because I'm not going to lie to y'all, it sounds like Yazan can speak pretty good English on his own, but this Adam guy is still hanging around. So yes, Yazan was on 90 Day Bears All. Comment below if you guys think that Yazan is going to actually get married. And seriously, I'm asking you guys, please comment below. I am curious, do you think Yazan is going to marry this woman who he has never met before, that lives in the US, and he, I don't even know, is planning on marrying her? Do you think that's going to happen? Comment below. And while we are chatting, I do want to ask one more favor. Can you guys hit that subscribe button / follow button? If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe or follow or whatever button you see below that says subscribe or follow or something. Just press it. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. But now let's go back to the rest of the drama of what we got to see on 90 Day Bears All, because it was not just Yazan by any means. Real quick, we got to see Kalani and Asuelu. Surprisingly, their relationship, it's just a roller coaster ride. It's not good by any means, but it's kind of gotten better. There really wasn't any new, revelations or anything like that, because they are going to be on the new season of 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, and it looks like, oh my god, the drama with Asuelu's family, mainly his sister and Kalani, is not done by any means. So they are going to be on there. We got to see a couple sneak peek clips. Nothing too crazy. We did get to see a little bit of a Christmas, it was a get together, but it turned like a big fight and it looked kind of crazy. So we did get to see that, and it looks like it's gonna be freaking crazy. So Kalani and Asuelu, they were there too. They were kind of quiet. They were kind of just hanging around. We got to see them. Then we got to see Fernanda. Now she was just kind of, she was talking about Jonathan, her ex-husband. She was talking about the fact that how he moved to Chicago. And if you don't already know, I'll keep this real quick, but if you don't already know, Fernanda actually wanted to move to Chicago with Jonathan when she was married to him, but he said no. And the second they got a divorce, he met another woman who he was probably cheating on Fernanda with, and they moved to Chicago right by Fernanda, because she ended up moving there on her own. So she was devastated. She was heartbroken. She was offended. Obviously, I don't blame her. Here's kind of the sad thing, though. Jonathan, Fernanda's ex-husband, came out on social media and said that his, I guess fiance now is pregnant. So when I heard that, I was like, oh my god, it did not get brought up on 90 Day Bears All by Sean or Fernanda because it wasn't announced. Like, he literally announced it like a week ago. So that was awkward. And I think, honestly, when she probably got the news, I think Fernanda was probably devastated because I do believe she loved him. Now, I do think she wanted to come to America and just that was it. But I think she did like the guy and it just didn't work. I'm not a big fan of Fernanda, I'm not going to lie to y'all. But that is basically what is going on with her and her life. And Fernanda did briefly talk about what is also going on with this guy named Robbie. If you don't already know, we have 90 Day Fiance, 90 Day Bears All, and we also have 90 Day Fiance, The Single Life. They're both on Discovery Plus. Fernanda is on The Single Life show, and she's dating this guy on the show named Robbie. He's a cocky, he's so full of himself, and I'm not a fan of the guy whatsoever. And we do know in present day, they're not still dating. And on the last episode of 90 Day The Single Life, they got into a huge fight, because he's just rude. He's just not a nice guy at all. They got into a big fight. She was mad, she was offended, and that was basically the gist of it. So we got to see her rewatch the clip and kind of chat and talk about what she liked about Robbie. But if you go on her social media, she's dating another guy. So it's like, it's not any bit of a shocker or a surprise. She's with a new man. And hey, Jess showed up for a minute. Jess, that's with Brian. She came on for just a split second to talk out. She played bingo. It was like this is the thing about 90 Day Bears All that's kind of annoying to me. They don't bleep out anything, and they make it like it's like a late night kind of a show where it's really like adult, style, topics, and they're really, they do all these stupid games where it's like about their romantic bedroom life, and it's like, why do we have to talk about freaking Jess's it's like, why? It's kind of funny sometimes, but it's also like, it's so repetitive. It's always the same thing where they'll have some crazy guest on for 2 seconds like Jess, and she'll come on and make a bunch of crazy bizarre comments about, her bedroom life, and it's like, why? What is this? So that was kind of annoying. We saw Jess, not very excited, but the last thing we got to see that literally ripped my heart to shreds, you guys, was Kenny and Armando. Do you guys remember them? Kenny and Armando. I'll try to post a picture right there. They were the couple. Kenny came from Florida, went to Mexico to be with Armando. Armando was married to a woman. She ended up getting into a car accident. She passed, sadly. He had a daughter with her, Hannah, who was sweet. And, that's the story. They came over there. We really did not know what happened to them after the 90 Day Fiance The Other Way season. However, we do know that, obviously, Kenny did propose to Armando. And if you go on social media, it's clear as day that they are still together. However, oh my God, they have a two very sad relationship things going on. So sad relationship thing number one, the first thing is, Kenny did say that he has not seen his 4 kids in a year. It has been 1 year. And I get it, we're in the middle of a pandemic. If it was a different year, he would have for sure have seen them. But dude, a year? I mean, are you? I don't know. Well, actually, you know what? I do. Well, maybe I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with, but my point is this. Couldn't he come back to Florida? Because if he quarantined, couldn't he come in? And before I said that, I kind of realized he might not have been able to. So if Kenny couldn't go back to America, I can tell you all one thing. His 4 kids could for sure quarantine and go to Mexico. I know that for a fact. I have friends that have been to Mexico during the pandemic, so for sure they could have done that. But the catch is, one of his kids has a son. The other 3, they're young, they're working. I don't know their schedules. Maybe they just flat out can't afford it. So I kind of get it. If I was Kenny, and I don't want to bash him by any means, but if I was him, hey, Armando is right here. No matter what, the kids, in my eyes, should be above him, and he should not leave Armando, but he probably should make an attempt and really try to go and see them at least every 6 months. I get it. If we were in last March and April, we did not know. It was a very uncertain time. It was a scary time. But dude, this was filmed in like freaking February. In the summer, he could have made his way back. I believe the borders are open, so I don't know. But they could have came, I don't know. I don't want to say for sure because they could have been closed for people coming from Mexico to America, so I don't know for sure. But it did, when I heard that, I was like, dude, that is like, honestly, it's just kind of sad. I don't want to say, I'm not saying he's a bad dad, because he is not a bad dad. I don't think he's a bad person. I know he got a lot of heat for kind of being a little bit high maintenance, but I don't think he's a bad person by any means. And when I heard that, I was like, that is just flat out sad. His girl started crying. It was an emotional talk. So that was the first sad thing about Kenny and Armando. Kenny has not seen his kids in a year. The second thing is, though, Sean asked Armando's mom, who was also there, when did you find out that Armando was interested in men? And this was honestly, it was a question that should just have not have been asked. I feel like, honestly, Sean crossed the line, and I know Sean probably does not make up these questions, but it was like, right when she asked it, Armando burst into tears. Then the mom, she burst into tears. And the sad thing was, she gave a real honest answer, which it wasn't a nice answer. And she basically just said, because Armando was married to a woman, she had no idea, she couldn't believe it, and when Armando came to her and came out, she was absolutely devastated, sad. It was just awful. She couldn't believe it, and she was sobbing when she said it. She said it in Spanish. Obviously, Armando knew what she was saying. He started sobbing, she was sobbing, and then all of a sudden, the kid, everyone was just sobbing, and I was like, did you really have to ask that question? I honestly think Armando's mom wants to be supportive and be there, and I think she's trying her best, but the culture and just everything is making it uncomfortable for her. I feel bad for Armando. That's the only thing I have to say. The guy wants to live his life the way he wants to live it, and his parents, especially the dad isn't even within question. The mom, she will kind of converse and talk, and I think she is more there for him. The dad, I think he honestly isn't there for him at this time. It's sad. I feel bad for them, and that is that. It's really, really, I mean, like, I don't cry easy, and I didn't cry watching this, but I watched it going, this is honestly sad. We saw Kenny's full family just devastated, and they were heartbroken because they haven't seen their dad in so long. And even one of the daughters said, I kind of feel abandoned because it's almost like my dad went and just met this other guy and left the four of us. And I don't want to say that, but it's kind of like, you know what, guys? He kind of did. And Kenny even said it. He goes, you know, we all have to move on. We all are adults. They are young adults. We are all adults, and we need to go move on and have our own lives. And I agree with that. It's sad. I feel bad for them. But it's like, I kind of get where Kenny's coming from. So that was that. And then the whole thing with Armando, I mean, a lot of questions were asked. It was just absolutely horrifying, honestly. The mom, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, can't you just lie? Like, do you really have to say that? Like, the mom basically said that she was just absolutely mortified and horrified when she got the news, but it's like, couldn't you have just lied? You know, it's like, obviously you're gonna hurt this guy's feelings. Armando's feelings are incredibly hurt. Couldn't you have just said, you know, I always kind of knew, or something just to kind of make it easier, because it's like, this guy was I mean, he was so upset he had to take off his microphone, go off camera, and he was just bawling. So and I honestly, I don't blame the guy whatsoever. I feel bad for him, and that was that. We got to see Hannah. She seemed happy. I don't know if, honestly, I don't think Armando has seen his family anytime really soon, because Armando's mom saw Hannah, and she was saying it's been so long, I haven't seen her in forever. So that kind of tells me, maybe because of the pandemic, they haven't really been seeing each other. I don't really know, but oh my God, you guys, it is just absolutely sad. So Kenny and Armando, 90 Day Bears All. It was a very, very, very interesting episode. We had so many different guests. The one guest, though, I can't believe is Yazan. What is this guy doing? That is the question of the day for me. Is this guy going to marry her? And I mean, I'm just freaking curious. And at this point, it's kind of like, geez, if you asked her dad for her hand in marriage, and he says that he's talking, you know, 24/7 on Skype and FaceTime and everything, it's like, you kind of have to go through with it. But my thing is like, what if they meet and they look different? Or who knows? And the other thing too I want to say real quick is, I find it hilarious that this woman lives in the U.S. And that tells me one thing right then and there. He wants to come to America. No shame, but dude, it's like, you are just trying to meet an American, and that is that. And I get it. You want to come over here. That's cool, whatever. But just don't act like you're falling in love with this woman when more than likely, dude, the only thing you want, Yazan, is a green card to come to America. Because if that was the case, if I'm wrong, if that was not the case, he would just meet a woman in Jordan. So come on, dude. Complete crap. Well, guys, 90 Day Fiance, 90 Day Bears All, pretty good episode, I will say. It was definitely a very good cast. Well, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, hit the comments below, hit the subscribe, follow, share, every other button you might see. You might as well just press it, because maybe it'll do something that'll help this channel out. Well, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and y'all better please stay tuned for many more episodes.